You are listening to Grim and Stone, the Mountain Perspective. This podcast may contain objectionable language.
Welcome to Grim and Stone, the Mountain Perspective. This is our take on what's happening in the world. How you doing, Stony? I pulled it off.
Good job. I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Grim?
It's Monday.
No,
I know it's Thursday, but it sure as hell feels like a Monday. Before I do anything else, before we do anything else, I gotta say hi to somebody.
Okay.
Because if I don't say hi,
You're a schmuck.
I would be a schmuck if I didn't say hi.
So say hi.
So, hi, Roxy. Here, I'll wait with this hand so you can see. Hi, Roxy. Hi, Caden. My grandbabies.
Very cool.
So, Roxy watches. Alrighty. The DOA, Department of Energy.
DOE.
DOE. I said DOA?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because I wish they were DOA. DOE, Department of Energy, are doing some really shitty hiring practices, or rather non-hiring practices against veterans.
Really?
Yes. What they're doing is, you're a veteran. Oh, that's great. Here, let's go ahead and do our interview. And then as soon as they leave, they're not hiring you. Because they're finding that veterans have ethics and stuff for the most part.
The horror.
Yeah, that's right. And they become whistleblowers when shit's not done right and people get hurt or there are, unethical practices. Well, then people who were already hired were finding this out. And, oh no, she's got the squeaky toy. Give me that. So then other people found, people who are already working for the DOE found out what was going on and were like, hey, that's unethical and that's wrong. And then they would get fired. So the Department of Energy, and it the way the article reads, it's reading like it's an isolated event, that it's only happening in Oregon. But I got a feeling that they're the ones who got caught. Yeah. So, we don't want people with morals and values and shit working for us because they might tell on us when we start screwing shit up. So,
just do your damn job the right way.
Yeah, so there's that. This one inspired where we're going to be doing weather today.
Ah, okay.
Because apparently they need help. I feel bad for these guys. This was messed up. Lightning strike injures 12 Fort Carson soldiers. Now, nobody was directly hit.
Okay.
They're out in some field. There's like no other vegetation. They had some tents up and shit. I guess, in case, whatever. And all of a sudden, there's lightning, storm starts to brew overhead, and they're like, let's get off this field. So, out of the 300 or so, or 350 that were there, everybody starts heading back. Well, this nice little group of 12, as they're heading back, they're about 20 feet from the tent. Was it 20 feet? 20 yards. I'm sorry, 20 yards. And lightning struck between them and the tent and just fucked them up. There's no nice way to put it.
Wow.
Apparently, all 12 hit the ground like a wet bag of shit, and they all survived. There was only, 2 or 3 in critical condition. The majority of them were let go out of the hospital on Wednesday, but they got the crap zapped out of them. So good luck to those guys.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, it's one thing when you go into combat and you're like, all right, yeah, somewhere, some shit's going to happen. But you're at your home and God flings a fucking booger at you. That's just wrong.
Yep. Good thing they weren't commo pukes.
Oh, if they were commo pukes, they'd all been dead.
Yep.
Alrighty. Your turn.
Yay! I know we agreed that one of the things we're going to avoid is politics.
Correct.
So
How is it? I don't see how this is political.
The reason I picked this particular article is because it's about the only one I could find that was not political.
Oh, okay.
And I will try to get through this without spewing too much venom and hatred all over your desk.
I would appreciate that.
Bradley Manning,
Douchebag extraordinaire.
the individual who released hundreds of thousands of classified military and government documents to WikiLeaks, had his sentencing. He went through his hearing, and he was found guilty on everything except for aiding the enemy.
Right.
And my understanding is he was not guilty of that because there was no personal intention to put this information in the hands of the enemy for their benefit. So, not guilty.
Okay.
I can buy that.
I can too. It's just for future. But they're saying this is a precedent-setting case,
Yeah.
and if you want to be the guy who puts the shit in the enemy's hands, all you have to do is go WikiLeaks or whoever, and put it out there, knowing that it'll get to your intended target, and then go, "Oh, I didn't know."
Yeah. Well, he was found guilty on all charges except that one anyway, and he's looking at like 139 years in prison. Forget the dishonorable discharge. That's never going to work against him because he's never going to be able to worry about that status. Anyway,
I don't think he's going to have to worry about that 139 years either. He seems like a little spindly type of geek. I see him being somebody's bitch.
Yeah. Anyway, this article, I'll make it short and sweet here. This article is about veterans' thoughts on what he did.
Okay.
And what has happened to him now.
Okay.
And prosecutors painted him as an attention-seeking traitor who damaged U.S. securities, and others regard him as a whistleblower motivated by his concern for the country. Whichever side of the fence you're on, I don't really give a shit. Veterans, by and large, are not happy with him. One veteran says, "It bothers me, our credibility and everything we have going is jeopardized." Another veteran, "If they catch somebody giving away secrets, he should be stopped. He knew it when he went in. That was his job. He's supposed to keep his mouth shut and analyze, and he didn't do that." The author goes on and says, "We couldn't find anyone in our area that supported what Manning did." And they're speaking of, in particular, of veterans.
With a small M on the Manning.
Yeah, I noticed that. There's several times in here where it says...
He's been reduced.
Yeah.
To more of an object as opposed to a person.
Right.
Which is fine.
The veteran opinions are leaning towards he fucked up.
Yeah.
And he needs to pay for it.
Yep.
Of course, douchebag extraordinaire Julian Assange, who's a hero to all of these granola eating douchebags that claim they're anarchists. You wouldn't know an anarchist if I shoved one up your butt. This guy, the WikiLeaks founder, is saying he's this young man, a good man as far as anyone can tell, and his motivations were entirely political. No, they weren't.
His motivations were political?
Yeah, well, he, his family, after the verdicts were read, his family said that they were happy the judge agreed that their son didn't intend to help America's enemies. So.
But they were disappointed in the verdicts.
Yeah, but they were happy with that one at least, because now they can say, okay, he betrayed the trust of the country, but he wasn't aiding the enemies.
Not purposely, anyway.
So, take it for what it's worth, but veterans think he's a piece of shit.
Good.
Yep.
All right. Now this one.
Here we go.
What the hell? There are links below.
Waynesboro, Georgia. A KFC 7-foot bucket appeared in Alina Hedrick's yard. That's right. It's a 7-foot tall KFC bucket. I was driving by, she said, and I saw this giant KFC bucket in my yard, and I thought for sure I was hallucinating. So I called my teenagers who are at home and had them go outside. But there it was. It mysteriously appeared in Hedrick's yard Thursday, and she and her family have decided to embrace their new lawn art. Neighbors and strangers have started to stop by to have their picture taken with the monument to crispy goodness. Too often we just need something to laugh about. So I put it on Facebook and told them I would bring chicken to the next potluck.
That thing is huge.
Yeah, it's 7 foot tall. As it turns out, her landlord is a collector. He's one of these guys that goes around and he buys like the old gas station signs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
was it him?
It was him. He found this. It was in good shape, so he bought it. It's his land, so he dropped it off. Well, he dropped it off right in front of their house in the middle of the driveway.
Middle of the driveway. Kind of a dick move.
But so there you go.
That's funny. And that's the old school Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket with Colonel Sanders on there.
Yep.
Alrighty. Famous veteran, Oliver Stone. People have mixed emotions about him. There are those that call him a granola-eating douchebag, and those who call him a hero.
And some who just think he's knucking futz.
Well, there's that too. But he's kind of got a reason.
Okay.
He joined the Army in 1967. Now, what's interesting is before he joined the Army, he was at Yale University and dropped out and lived the rootless life of like Easy Rider. Taught English in Vietnam and lived briefly in Mexico while working on a novel that would go unpublished until 1997, A Child's Night Dream. Like I said, he joins the Army in 1967, and mainly he joined because he personally needed a rite of passage to be a man.
Mm.
And his father, very conservative father, he wanted to prove to Dad, I'm a man, not a boy anymore. And this is probably the only war we're going to have, and it's going to be over soon. 1967. And roughly 10 years later. Anyway, after basic, Stone landed in Vietnam, September 16th, 1967, and was assigned to the 2nd Platoon of Bravo Company, 3rd Battalion, 25th Infantry, stationed near the Cambodian border. He was wounded twice in action and was later transferred to the 1st Cavalry and assigned to a long-range reconnaissance platoon in April of '68.
Yeah.
Right. It was during that time that he and Juan Angel Elias, who would become the inspiration for Sergeant Elias, William Defoe, in Platoon, which drew heavily on Stone's Vietnam's experiences. Eventually, Stone was discharged in November of '68 after 15 months of duty, received 2 personal awards, a Bronze Star with a V device, which he received after conducting, now this is in quotes, extraordinary acts of courage under fire, and a Purple Heart with 1 oak leaf cluster. So that's very impressive. After leaving Vietnam, he was emotionally scarred by his experiences and was very mixed up, very paranoid, and very alienated.
How odd.
Yeah. The GI Bill helped him enroll in New York University, where he studied under master filmmaker Martin Scorsese and gained a new focus in life. And then he wrote Midnight Express. I didn't know that. And he also wrote Conan the Barbarian, which I did not know.
I did not know
That was
either.
cool. And Scarface. And his career-changing directorial job on Platoon, which earned him an Academy Award for Best Director. He says that in Platoon is more of his Vietnam story.
Mm-hmm.
And Born on the 4th of July was kind of what he evolved into after Vietnam. So both of those are very personal stories for him. So, well, a salute to Oliver Stone for serving with honor and dignity, apparently. And
Well, he was a LERP and he came home, so
yeah,
kudos right there.
the big kudos. But now weather. Okay, Fort Carson, pay attention. It's not nice to make fun of those guys because that's really messed up, but damn.
What?
Right now it's 70 degrees. Winds out of the southeast at 3 miles an hour with a humidity of 65%. Okay, now this is important. Today we're looking at a high of 87. Isolated thunderstorms. Get the hell off the parade field. Chance of rain, 30%. Winds out of the west-southwest at 9 miles an hour with a humidity of 36%. Tonight, a low of 63. Chance of rain, 20%. Winds out of the west at 9 miles an hour. Humidity at 56%. So,
I just can't help but thinking how many 100-foot antennas did we shotgun under black clouds in the middle of the day, or running cable during thunderstorms and
oh, there's a storm coming. Better get out there and tighten up your guy wires, which are metal, that are attached to your metal 100-foot antenna.
and these guys are just trying to get out of the way and get blown off. Nice.
Oh. Well, today's actually Thursday, though it feels like a Monday. So that's all I got. You got anything?
Nope.
So, have a good weekend. Bye, Roxy. Bye, Caden.
Keep your powder dry.